Okay, now I can go. Leeds. Leeds are falling apart. What is going on, everyone? Manchester United 2, Leeds United 0. Rashford continues his absolutely amazing run of form with another goal again. Garnacho comes on. There we have it. Garnacho comes on to seal the points. Not the most exciting game ever, but the main point is we take the points on a weekend where Newcastle and Spurs both drop points, and Man City play Arsenal as well, which we was literally just discussing off the camera. United into second, 46 points, 5 points behind Arsenal, 1 point above City, and 5 points above Newcastle, and a clean sheet as well, which we didn't kind of expect, judging how certain defenders performed today, which we'll definitely touch on. Can't ask for more than that, can we, Sam? Are you ready? Sam, you there?
I think my headphones are gone. Carry on.
Dave, I'll go to you first. Can't ask for more than that, can we?
I can't hear.
It always happens, doesn't it?
Give me a sec.
Oh god, no, that was honestly that's
you
probably
guys
how the
carry on
game
talking.
should have gone midweek.
1 second, sorry. Sam? What is going on?
Okay, we're back.
Yeah, just we'll think and then you sort it out. Okay. Go on, Dave, sorry.
So yeah, that's probably how the good game should have gone midweek. Really, we made a few mistakes again today, like we did midweek, but they just at least didn't just capitalize on them. Thankful for that. Those changes in the second half, just bringing on Martinez, dropping in Vegas to 10, bringing on the runners, and I think we've got something that we deserved from that game. Phenomenal header from Rashford. I don't know who's been feeding him, but like. He's having his Weetabix, isn't he? Jesus.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. We was joking about that, weren't we? Like, he's having for breakfast, he has his fucking Red Bull, Weetabix, some Annabelle probably, because he's throwing players to the ground as well. Do you know what I mean? He's just physically, when he gets on the ball, he's really, like, doing damage. And prior to this game as well, I don't know if you're back with us, Sam. Give us a thumbs up. You're back with us, cool. Prior to the game as well, there was slight worries, weren't there, that it'd be forfeited. You know, it'd be a bit of a grind, which it turned out to be, but we got the job done, didn't we, Sam?
Yeah, no, it was a tough game to watch. That, like, I know you on the watch along, which I can imagine was not a fun slog. And I was like getting a bit frustrated in the chat. I was getting a bit frustrated with people, and I was just like, this passing is just absolutely terrible. But yeah, again, the man Rashford, he comes up gold like he always does. He seems to for United, and he just can't stop scoring. I think it was Luke Shaw, was it, with the assist as well?
Yeah, great cross.
So great, like, fantastic cross from Luke Shaw. Who, again, another guy he's in really, really good form. And then my boy Garnacho, absolutely just shutting up every hater, shutting up all the people criticising him for being an 18-year-old and not doing well enough. Scores a great goal. Puts United 2-0 up, game over, and we are into second position in the league. And who would have thought we would be there first 7 months into Ten Hag's reign? Absolutely love it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna try and go through this game chronologically. You know, first half we kick off. Leeds very aggressive, setting the tempo from the start. Had an early chance. Dalot kind of lets it come across his body, and they very nearly score. Within that first 10 minutes, Dave, was any worry signs for you? Do you think, oh, here we go? I know it's very early on, but are you thinking this could be a fucking, we could drop points here?
Well, once we got past the first minute and didn't concede, I was like,
yeah.
But obviously after watching the last game, you were thinking, oh, is the same thing just going to happen again? Please tell me we learned. And I feel like in some ways we did, and in some ways it was just you saw the limitations of what we had in midfield. Like, individually, I think Fred and Sabitzer are both good players, but together they might not always work as well, especially in a game like this. You can tell that we're just missing our first choice midfield, can't you?
Yeah.
It's glaringly obvious.
Yeah, Christian Eriksen, Casemiro, like, significant. I can't wait to get them back for Eriksen later on in April.
One of them, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, Casemiro back for the Barca game, fantastic. Back for the final, he is needed, because I don't want to be playing this team in big games like that. We progressed through the first half, Sam. 20 minutes in, United still struggling to move the ball between the lines. Lack of tempo, movement, hardly any shots on goal whatsoever. what was the issue with that? Like at the back throughout the full game, it was like Ollie ball again a little bit, where it was just crab side to side, really boring. Like, and we saw obviously when Leach came on, he changed that up a bit. But what was that issue? Do you think?
It's just it's pedestrian passing. Like the lack of quality when we drop down and we rotate is stunning. Like absolutely stunning. Like you take Varane and Lissandro out and you put Maguire and Shaw there, and Shaw is very competent as a centre back, but it's not his natural position. And he's playing next to Maguire, who's not played for us for a long time, not regularly anyway. His confidence is shaky at best. So he's playing next to him, and you just don't have that sort of range of passing that Lissandro showed later on when he came on. So Maguire gets the ball, and then he just seems to have to think for about 10 seconds. So, all right, what do I do next? And then by that time, there's a Leeds player pressing him, or they're trying to make a tackle when he's like making the pass out. Whereas Lissandro will get the ball, he knows exactly where it's going. He'll ping a diagonal, or he'll send it out wide. He knows exactly what he's doing. Varane's the same way. We saw Varane acting like a DM in that Leeds game, didn't we? Because we were like behind the first half when we were shooting away from the Stretford end. Varane was marauding into that midfield and playing like a DM role almost. And Maguire just hasn't got that in his locker. He's not fast enough. He's not got a mobility. And he gets caught too often, like far too often. And you can't against a lead side that's going to press the life out of you, and they're going to put crunching tackles in on you. And that's the difference. When you've got quality in the side and you've got your first team 11, you've got Casemiro. You probably could have got away with it if Casemiro was playing. If Casemiro was playing in front of Maguire, you probably could have got away with that a little bit because Casemiro.
Or at centre back. Do you remember when Casemiro played at centre back?
Exactly. So like you could get away with it then, but when you got Eriksen and Sabitzer, it's tricky. You have to have the Varane and Lissandro there if you're playing those two, because it's the drop in quality is massive. And that's what it was. You saw the difference when Lissandro came on. You saw the difference when Shaw went out to left back and Malacia came out. You saw the change in team. We started creating, and the goal came from that. The goal came from Shaw. So it's a whole different team when you've got your first team 11. And that's the difference. The squad depth is the difference.
And I thought in that first half as well, Dave, kept seeing these repetitive patterns of Maguire to Shaw, back to De Gea, back to Maguire, back to Shaw, and then like Leeds would just push up more and more. It'd get near De Gea, and De Gea would boot it away. It'd go straight back to them, and it was just kind of a repetitive cycle. And then Ten Hag, obviously, with the changes they brought on, has identified this, switched it up, which was nice to see. But what is it? There seems to be a conversation around De Gea's distribution, etc. But is that more Maguire being in the back line? Do you think that just breeds a nervousness within these players around him?
Yeah. I think it's a mix of probably what you've just said there. I think it's an overall mix of personnel and a mix of structure, which is why we struggled to build up today. I think it took us a while to get the shape right, because we've been building up in like certain shapes and choosing different shapes for different games depending on what's going on. And obviously the personnel help with that. And the fact that we don't have an elite ball-playing goalkeeper certainly puts a bit more pressure on us. You even see sometimes we tend to trust Heaton a little bit more on the ball.
Yeah.
Like the players just seem to be a bit more comfortable to pass it back to him. De Gea's not awful at it, but he's just not great. And when you're looking at Brent, you can go to Brentford and get their keeper for 15 million, for example. Yeah. And I imagine if we did that, you'd see our levels of playing out just shoot up so much more, because he would be able to take the ball in a more composed way and find a player. However, as I said, it's also to do with structure. If there's no one to pass to, if there's no one in the right position to receive the ball, we may get in a similar situation as well, no matter how good the goalkeeper is. And you see goalkeepers who are amazing at like Edison give up a couple of goals a season just if not everything's right. So yeah. I mean, it's one of them. We can definitely improve, but it does not help that our midfield wasn't as it should have been today.
And Ten Hag talks a lot about patterns, doesn't he? Players, the rhythm, constantly playing with each other, so they know, certain patterns. And of course, Malacia playing today, obviously not been in quite a lot. You've got Maguire who's in today. You've got Sabitzer and Fred playing for only the second time. So there's a few new faces kind of trying to gel in, and that's kind of a product of that. Just before we go and dive into the second half, which is obviously where the main things kind of happened, Bruno Fernandes chance, Sam, right before the thing, felt like it was pivotal at the time, thinking, fucking hell, how's he missed that, man? Yeah. How has he missed that? What were your thoughts on that opportunity?
I thought he should have buried it, but again, credit to the goalkeeper. Is it Melier?
Melia,
Yeah. He stuck his foot out, got a good touch on it, which took the ball away. Maybe he could have chipped it over him as the goalkeeper's going down. Maybe he could do that, or maybe the goalkeeper's just really quick. As soon as Bruno sits a shot out, he gets really down quickly. Goalkeeper
Bruno took himself a bit wide, I think.
Yeah, he took an extra touch, didn't he? He got the ball into his feet, and he took an extra touch. Which I didn't think he needed to do. He could have just sort of let it go first time, but. Yeah, I thought that might cost us. I think I put in the chat, I said those chances, and there was a chance after that. I don't know if you're going to touch on that, but there's a chance after that. And I thought this might cost us because they might be the only two opportunities we get if we carry on playing the way we are playing at the minute, because we weren't creating anything before that. And that was like the first time we were able to get in on their goal, and it was due to a mistake from a Leeds player, nothing to do with the play that we were creating.
And going into the second half as well, Dave, you looked at the stats. As soon as it kicked off, Leeds, there was like 4 shots in our box, couple like more touches than us. We had 0 shots to target. Nothing happening for a while. Somerville had a couple of good chances, and a few of the other players. But then Diego Dallo hits the bar. Fantastic shot. It's starting to get more signs of positivity now, more courage that we can get back into this game.
Yeah, once again, Leeds come out. You have to try and ride the storm because they just press you really hard, coming in both for the first 15 minutes of each half. It's like they just really want to try and get in and get those try and maybe get an early goal either side, like they did at Old Trafford. But yeah, you could sort of feel us growing into the game, like when those half chances come with Dello hitting the bar. You start to see us getting the ball a bit more further up the pitch, and then obviously Martinez comes on. He's able to pick out passes a lot easier than Shaw or Maguire is, and you just start to see us playing like Manchester United again. And when Rashford scored, I was ecstatic. I nearly put something through the TV. But I remember thinking that this has been coming now for these last few minutes. We've been sort of pushing up, and if that didn't go in, you feel like we probably would have carried on to score anyway, because we'd have just been pushing up and pushing up.
Just had that pendulum kind of swinging, didn't it? It felt like that motion, like it was kind of going into the game quite a lot. Sam, Rashford goal. Talk to me about Mr. Mentality Monster. What did you think?
I mean, I think we all said on the review, didn't we, that he would score. I think we all said it would happen. It just seems like it's a Thanos in it. It's an inevitability at this point. If Rashford plays, he will score, and that's the way it is. And I absolutely love it. I thought fantastic build up. As soon as he started going more centrally, Rashford, I think Weghorst almost dropped into a number 10, didn't he? Almost, and Rashford was pushing up as a 9. And as soon as that started happening, you started to see, okay, we can get in here. Brilliant cross from Shaw. Absolutely fine. Again, moved him out to the left where he's more effective. Again, he's a decent centre-back and he does well, but I think his best position is obviously left-back when he's bombing up and down.
I agree.
Does his thing. Fantastic cross. Rashford, yet again, another header. What is this? He's got 4 headers this season, which is
4 headers this season, both of them back to back as well, but with a stretch in between, which is quite funny.
Exactly.
Oh shit, yeah, because the Leeds game scored an header, didn't I? I completely forgot about that.
Which is insane because before this, Rashford, I don't remember him scoring a header ever.
Never.
I think the header would have been against Arsenal. I don't think he's scored one since that.
And now he's headed it. So all credit to Benny McCarthy for working on his finishing and getting it to this standard, because every time he gets near the 6 out, I think Dave mentioned it on the preview. Stretford Paddock did that thing where all his shots were and his attempts on goal, and it's all between the 6-yard box and the edge of the penalty area. And if you shoot there, your chances of scoring go dramatically up. And every single one of his goals was in that area. And absolutely fantastic goal. And much like Dave, I was flipping stuff off my table. There was Coke spilt places, absolutely ridiculous. Loved it.
Yeah, and just for you viewers out there, that's Coca-Cola, not the type of Coke you lot are thinking of. Yeah, Coca-Cola. There was no Coke spilt out the bag. The goal, Dave, Rashford does fantastic to head that in the top of the thing, but I want to discuss the bits as pass as well. That switcher play, which we were saying off camera, he's capable of. He's done it for Leipzig, he's done it for Bayern Munich, but just to pick that out makes that goal for me. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, that's one of the things that people were looking at when we're like sort of analysing bringing Sabitzer to the club and what he could bring. One of his key facets was able to have that like long switch, which is when you're playing in a possession system and trying to exploit teams while sitting back, having someone who can switch the ball quickly to the other side to create like once you've overloaded one side with a free man the other, it's just that's how you beat teams. City have been doing it for years. And
Liverpool do it quite a lot as well.
Liverpool have been doing it with Trent and Robertson, just crossing it to each other.
Yeah.
So to have someone in our team who shouldn't even be starting for us every game, by the way, being able to do that is great.
Yeah, and he was kind of tailing, wanted both of them, Sabitzer and Fred. Like when Sabitzer gets forward, Fred would kind of do the bit of the covering. And I felt like, was that the second goal we saw that for, Sam, when you had Weghorst and Fred really getting like stuck in the middle? They win it back, feed Garnacho in, and your boy goes on to a wonderful finish, wasn't it?
Yeah, the kid is like I said, he's a star waiting to happen. His finishing is incredible. Like, it's absolutely incredible. If he gets it on goal, he's 9 times out of 10 he's finishing it. Like we said in the previous league games, he got a bit bullied out of it. He got a bit sort of kicked and shoved and fouled and sort of manhandled, which is to be expected. That's what they do. If you're a young, quick, talented kid and you're playing in men's football, this is what they'll do to you, especially against a Leeds team or like a West Ham or someone like that, a team that's very physical. But I think he's in these sort of games, especially because the amount of pressing that Leeds do and the way they push up just constantly just on you, they started to tire towards that end. That's when you have a Garnacho, you bring him on fresh legs and just start running at him, hitting him with like inside runs and outside, all that sort of stuff, and you ruin their defence. And it's very tricky for him to go on.
Sorry, Ten Hag affecting games again, in it with the substitutions. He's done that so many times.
Exactly, and he gets in, and again, fantastic, like you said, build-up play, pressure from Fred, Weghorst, pass goes in, Garnacho, sublime finish. We've seen him do it several times. He saved us against Fulham with a similar goal when he just before the World Cup, and he's done it a few times now. The guy he's established himself in the first team. I don't know if we're going to touch on Sancho at all. Yeah,
we can discuss him. I wanted to, but yeah, go on.
I don't think he did well today at all. I thought he was very out of the game, very just getting his touch right. Leeds players were on top of him. They seemed to think he was the danger man today and just marked him out of the game. I don't think he had a very effective game today for me, Sancho.
I thought he was okay personally. I didn't mind him too much. Some nice bits from him, but sometimes where he was trying things wasn't necessarily coming off. He was obviously on the right-hand side, which, you know, he hasn't played there for a while, and then he kind of was interchanging and moved over to the left. It wasn't a sparkly game. He didn't have the impact that he did when he came on at Old Trafford, but I don't know, what did you think of Sancho's performance, Dave?
It's tough because it was a little bit isolated, and that's not when Sancho's good. Like, Sancho's best games have come, like, similar to Anthony, when he has people around him who can make runs for him.
Moving
he can play intricate. He just, obviously, away at Leeds, when Leeds are just trying to smash you all over the pitch, it's not really necessarily the game for him when we're not at the level that we should be. Maybe if Eriksen was in there and we had Casemiro, we were able to push up the line a little bit and we could control the game, but we just weren't able to get control of the game, and it's in those situations where you'll see the best of Sancho and Anthony.
It's funny we talk about Sancho straight after Garnacho, because I was looking at something before, and this is no slight on Sancho. I get last season was absolutely terrible, but last season I think Sancho only got 3 goals or something along the lines of that. Garnacho's now got 3 goals and 6 assists so far this season. So it's this criticism of Garnacho, I really don't get it. I really don't understand it. He's a kid, man. He's a kid, and he's doing bits for United, scoring very important goals, and he's clearly a talented player. So I really do not understand it, but I suppose you always get fucking idiots who want to voice certain opinions. Towards the end of the game, we had 2 goals ruled offside, Weghorst and Rashford. Agreed with them. You see why? I know the Rashford one he ran quite early, didn't he? But the Weghorst one, he was trying to decide if it bobbled off the Leeds defender but did you agree with the decisions?
The Rashford one, I thought, yeah, fair enough. He's just about offside. I mean, the state
they drew the lines, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, they remembered to draw the lines because apparently they forgot yesterday.
Yeah.
Apparently, some of the decisions.
Got like 20 quid. The ref, that was good.
Yeah. Somebody yesterday, do you see some of the decisions? Honest to Christ, like I was watching them going, how can this get any worse?
It's every week, isn't it?
And each one just got worse progressively. It was just insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Rashford one, fair enough, offside, accept that. The Vegas one's tricky, innit? Because
it's hard, innit? If it,
yeah,
I've looked like one of the camera angles, it looks like it comes off Maguire, but then another one, it looks like it comes off the dude's hand, and it's just like.
What do you do with that? Like, what do
I
you
think if you don't know, you have to go with potentially the on-field decision, which the guy raised his flag. Fair enough.
Yeah. Like there used to be back in the day, if you didn't know, the benefit would go to the attacker. I believe that used to be the decision. Obviously, it's not anymore because if it was, then the goal would have stood. But yeah, the Vegas one was tricky. It would have been nice for him to score his first league goal, but it is what it is. We won the game.
He got the assist, didn't he, though? He slipped Garnacho in, so there you go.
Oh, yeah, true. And that's what, that's what everyone was talking about. That's what Ten Hag talks about. He's been brought in so the other attackers can feed off him, basically. They've got more space for themselves because he drags certain players out of position, etc. And I'm happy with him doing that. I have absolutely no problems at all with him doing that. But a striker needs to get goals. And he's played 5 league games now and without a goal. I don't mind the job he's doing. I genuinely appreciate it. But if you're a striker, you still need to get a couple of goals. Like, at least, if you've got 2 in 5, I don't mind because you've got Rashford scoring, Garnacho's coming on and scoring. But overall thoughts on Vegas' performance today, Dave?
He struggled a bit today. As I think we were all struggling while Vegas was up front because I don't think he was able to occupy the centre half like the way he might usually be able to. It's a tough one because obviously when you saw him come a little bit deeper and then the runners were able to occupy the centre halves and on the drag line, he was able to just find some space to slip in someone. It's when he gets the ball, you can he sort of makes a good decision. And so you can see he's quite a clever footballer.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those. I don't think we're fully playing to his strengths yet. Again, because he's only played 5 games for us. He's not had a pre-season in training with us. The games are coming thick and fast. I mean, it's so hard to try and bed someone into your squad that quickly. It's not entirely his fault.
No, I get that assessment of it. And likewise with yourself, Sam, what do you think about Veghorst? And we're going to touch on the player ratings in a second, but Fred being awarded the man of the match as well. Did you think that was the right decision?
I thought Fred had a much improved game compared to, he would have had to if he had a worse game than the last one, I mean, Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, he would have had to have been fired immediately on the spot if he got worse than the last one. Much improved game. I thought he was effective. He did what we want Fred to do. He got involved, got stuck in, broke play up, intercepted, got passes out to the more creative people on the pitch, and did what he needed to do. That's what we expected of him at Old Trafford, and he didn't do it. Yeah. Whereas here,
I think he had 10 tackles today or something like that.
He's really good. He was good at that's what we want Fred for. That's what he's good at, and that's what you need to be in the team for. So I thought much improved. Veghorst, he's ineffectual at times, but again, he's a stopgap. He's not the striker that we brought in to solve the last piece of Ten Hag's puzzle. He's literally we needed somebody because Martial cannot be relied upon. Still out, injured. Don't know what it is. Still out. And Cristiano left the club. So it was an emergency buy to get somebody in that could do something within a system Ten Hag's trying to build. It wasn't the final piece. So for the work he does, fine, I'm all right with that. But if he was this is our long-term striker going forward, you're right, we need goals and we need a striker to start scoring. But I think we'll address that in the summer. I think we bring somebody in who addresses that, gives you the hard work of Veghorst, gives the link-up play, but also can score goals. I think that's what happens in the summer. But like you said, 5 games in. At the minute, it's just train, recover, game. There's not much. I don't imagine there's a lot of tactical work going on how to bet, like Dave said, bet him into the team. It's just literally get as much recovery as possible at the minute because we've still got a shit ton of games to go. So it is what it is with Veghorst, unfortunately.
All things considered, we're doing okay at the minute. We're still getting points on the board. Man City 1-0 up, by the way. I don't know if anyone's seen that.
Rodri's just scored.
Yeah, Rodri's scored off a corner. So 4 minutes in, could be a batter in this for Villa, to be honest.
Ashley Young, God, I forgot he was still alive.
Yeah, Grey Ashley Young at the age of 45 at left back. Yeah, Ashley old. Yeah, very nice. I was just looking at some of Fred's stats. Like I said, we're going to touch on the player ratings next. 58 touches, 83% accurate passes, 4 out of 8 long balls, 11 out of 20 ground duels. So he's been a busy bee there in that sense. Possession lost 9 times, 3 fouls, 2 clearances, 10 tackles. So he's definitely involved, definitely a busy bee. Whether he's man of the match or not, I don't know. Let me know in the comment section as well who you guys would go for, but we're going to go through him now. So David De Gea, we do a rating system, by the way, Dave. I'm not sure if you know, from A to F, basically. So what you would grade them for their performance.
Right, yeah.
Obviously, A star being the best, F being the worst, or U if they've had an absolute terrible time.
Nobody's had a U yet. Nobody's got a
No
U.
one's had it yet. Yeah, Fred was fucking close
He
in the
was
last
very
game.
close. Very close.
Yeah. David De Gea, what would we give David De Gea?
What would you say like an average rating is for you guys?
C.
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 Yeah.
I don't think he really had to do much. I don't think he necessarily did much like wrong, but he wasn't like necessarily being in a position to affect the game positively. So I think C is probably fair. Like he doesn't really have to do too much.
Yeah.
Maybe C plus because he did make like a decent save.
Yeah,
Maybe
there was a few
C+.
in there. You could potentially push it up to a C plus. Sam, how did you see it?
I'd give him a C. I thought, again, distribution. I feel like I say it every week, but yeah, his distribution lets us down, and I think he's made more nervous when it's not Lissandro, Casemiro, Varane playing in front of him. He looks worse when it's a Maguire in front of him and Casemiro's that there. He looks more at edge because he doesn't know quite who to pass to and who's reliable and stuff like that. And obviously, because his distribution shit lets him down going forward, like trying to ping it out, it doesn't work. So I think, yeah, I'd go with a C, but I'm happy to acquiesce to a C plus, Nick, if you think he deserves a bit more.
It's a tough one for me because I agree with Dave. He did make a couple of good saves, but there's also times where he was at his feet and it just felt, it could be a Maguire thing, I don't know, but it felt a little bit of nervousness and that bred through the team then. And I don't know, I'd probably stick with a C, to be honest. Yeah, it could be either, though. It's not like a clear conclusion. Diego Dalot, right back. Quite a lot of comments when I was on the TikTok live saying they weren't happy with his performance, thought he was a bit shaky again at times. I thought he was all right. Obviously had that chance, that opportunity that missed the bar, but again, this is another one that's, is it a C? Is it just a standard? I don't know. Just I think
it's just a lot of the team for a good 60 minutes was, you're looking at probably like around a C anyway.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it was a tough game, and United really struggled in like the first phase of build up, and that's where a lot of these first players we're going to look at this. And
I think this is tough. Sorry, I think this is one of them games where you'll look back in the season and think you absolutely buzzing. You got the 3 points for it. With the, if we finished in the top 4, you'll look back and be like, that was one of the games that we fucking needed to win.
Like this is a sort of game we earned this win. Like we battled for this win. Like these 3 points. Like there's been games where we've got away with it a little bit and we've sort of scraped a victory, but we got the 3 points.
Yeah.
This game is like we battled for this and we got it, and that's the sort of form that you want your team to do, even if you're not playing great. If you can battle out a victory and get one, especially against Leeds as well. But yeah, I'd go with C. I thought didn't do a lot wrong, but again, I think he's still finding his way back, still finding his form. He got taken off obviously at some point because he's clearly still not 100% match fit yet. But I think when push comes to shove in the big games, I think Ten Hag goes with Dalot over Wan-Bissaka. Yeah, I think that's the way it is.
He's installing that siege mentality in here, Ten Hag. He's like, every time he's been asked about the fixtures, he's not moaned about it. He's not done a Jurgen Klopp or anything. It's just like, I don't care. The games are coming. We need to play. That's it. Done. Yeah. No excuses. We get the job done. And that's what he's done today. We move on to, so we all agreed, with Diego Dalot C. Yeah? Yeah, cool. Harry Maguire, what would you give him? I thought his passing at times, some of the diags he was trying, just kept going back to Leeds, which brought more pressure onto us. At times where he's very slow pedestrian on the ball, but was good in other areas, like won quite a lot of his aerial duels. I don't think defensively he was terrible. He was all right in that kind of light. But we know the things that we get with him. It's kind of expected sometimes when he plays. Hasn't played for a while. Are we being harsh if we give him below a C? Like, I don't know. Again, it's another one like.
Well, probably not. I think the highest you could probably give him is maybe a C minus. If you guys do the minus grades too. Just purely because, like say, his passing wasn't great and he put us under a lot of pressure from that, and that's not what you want from your centre half. He was winning his duels, as you say, but like you don't want your centre half putting you under that kind of pressure. he does take too many touches on the ball.
especially at Leeds, with the
Yeah.
crowd behind him. Like, that's the last thing you want. That's why there was a lot of
It's-
surprises.
He recovered well from like a couple of the mistakes he made, but he shouldn't be making those mistakes in his first place. That's probably why the max you can probably give him as a C plus. But if someone says D, I'm not gonna fight him over it.
One thing Ten Hag says as well in it, Sam, is you cannot make mistakes at this level. He said it so many times after games, saying that's why we've been punished. And we was nearly on the receiving end of that with Maguire, weren't we?
Yeah, he hesitates far too much for me. I think indecision and hesitation is a killer in the Premier League. If you hesitate, if you make you're not sure what decision you're going to do, you get punished. And Leeds are such a high pressing team, and especially at their home ground, they're just going to be on you, and you can't afford to have that in your team in Harry Maguire. Like we were saying off camera before we went live, like in a back three or in a team that sits back quite often, he doesn't have to worry as much. Fine, he works. He's that kind of player, but in the Ten Hag pressing system, high line, lots of possession stuff, he's not good enough. Like, he's just not good enough. He hasn't got the mobility. He can't scan. His passing is questionable. The only quality he has is in the air. That's it. If a team's putting a lot of crosses into the box just consistently, you want Harry Maguire in there because he'll get rid of that. But anything other than that, he's not good enough. And I just think it's time to stop with this. It's time to stop trying to play him back into the team. He's trying to fit him in the team. He doesn't work. He has to go. In the summer, he has to go. Like, just has to go.
But if we have to rotate at the minute, that's the issue, isn't it? Like, it has to be done, unfortunately.
But
And
why
the players
was
that come in.
Why was Lissandro not playing? He's not. He don't
Well,
play.
We were
he
having a
don't
chat
play.
about this in our chat, weren't we? My guess is just because I feel like he wanted to give Shaw some time there because of like the upcoming Barcelona game where Lissandro can't play. That's the only reason it makes sense for me.
I don't think you could play Shaw and Lissandro both at the back. Like, Lissandro's a right centre back. Because I feel like I just said Pep then, because Pep's on the TV. I feel like Ten Hag likes that balance. Like, he talks about how important a left-footed centre back was to open certain passing lanes, etc. I think having Lissandro and Shaw there would kind of disrupt the balance a little bit. Maguire needed game time. He took a little bit of a risk on him. Didn't pay off. Well, it did pay off because he got clean sheet and we won. It could have gone against us in a sense. So what would you give him, Sam?
I'd give him a D, but against a quality team, we concede there several times. There's a couple of goals we concede. If that's a City, an Arsenal, any of that, there's 2 goals being conceded there at least, and we don't get a victory. If City scored again,
2-0. Yeah, 2-0.
Fucking hell.
Gundogan, but then I don't know. The officials are just chatting about it now.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, City started off bright here, so. Yeah, it's probably going to be a win for them. I'm not going to be as harsh with Maguire, but I know there was certain errors he was making, and I know I absolutely fully appreciate everything you said there, Sam. I agree with a lot of it, but I did think he was good in other elements, so I'm not going to be too harsh, and I'll give him a C-. But again, it's open for interpretation. Viewers, let us know what you think as well. Luke Shaw, his partner, another steady performance. I feel like we're going to say this with a lot of fucking players, but I thought he was better when he moved out into left back. Like, I don't know if we could do 2 separate ratings. I think as a centre back, it's a C, but as a wing back, he'd probably push it up to a C+ or even a B, because that assist was fantastic, and I love him. But up and down that left hand side, I think he's one of the best wing backs in the league for me.
Yeah, he's unreal at left back, Luke Shaw. He didn't do bad at centre half today. He didn't do anything wrong whatsoever. It's just we just struggled as a team to sort of play out, and I don't think that was necessarily Shaw's fault. But as soon as he went to left back, it was like you just saw how much better we were.
Yeah, I'll go with a C+ for Shaw.
Let's go with C+ because, like you said, at left back he was much better than he was at centre back, and he got an assist. So
pinpoint cross as well. Cross is perfect for Rashford. Yeah. Right, Terrell Malacia, C. Like, I don't know.
I liked his aggression. I thought his aggression was really good against Leeds. Like, I like that in a player when you're playing a rival and he gets stuck in. Like, him and Ayling, whatever his name is. They were proper kicking off with each other, weren't they, at times, and sort of having a bit of a battle, which I like to see. So yeah, C. A decent average performance.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Cool. Moving into midfield, Sabitzer, second start for the club. Wonderful pass to Shaw to set up the Rashford goal. That alone deserves massive praise and probably a grade of its own. But what do we think of his performance? All things considered, I think he deserves a C+ as well, because I liked a lot of the stuff he was doing. losing the odd occasional aerial duel, which you get more of that with Casemiro. I think his strength and his ability in the air is fantastic. But when you're comparing someone to the best DM in the world, it's a bit hard to fill those boots. So I thought he did all right today. I'd give him a C+. Dave?
Yeah, I completely agree. He lost a couple of duels. Like, no one wins 100% of the duels to me, and obviously we are comparing him to Casemiro, which is extremely unfair. Yeah. It's like that moment of quality is enough to bump him up to at least a C+, I'd say. Definitely. Because he got us a goal.
Not given that goal then, have they, for City? Still 1-0.
No, yeah, still 1-0.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's behind me. I have to turn around to see it. So.
It's all right. Sam?
No, I agree with you. I think everything you said spot on. So yeah, go with that.
Everyone kept calling him Sanitizer in the chat.
Sanitizer.
Don't know what.
I think it's the autocorrect. Autocorrect, isn't it?
Because he's clean with his movement.
I've just got to go and let Mrs. into the flat. She forgot.
Yeah. Yeah, no worries. Well, Fred, what do you think? He got man of the match. Well, they awarded him man of the match. What would you say for his performance, Sam?
I think he did, but he did so much better than he did against Leeds the last time. Definitely upped his performance. Thought he did well. Some great tackles, good dueling, got stuck in, made passes when he needed to. Yeah, I'd give him a solid C+. I thought he was decent. I thought he was really, really good. I just wish he could be like that all the time, or like 9 times out of 10 do that, because it just doesn't seem to be consistent enough. That's the only thing missing from Fred is consistency. If you get consistency out of him, he's a very, very good squad player, but that's how it is.
Fred, Dave?
You echo what Sam said there. Fred is, if we're in the position where Fred is our squad player, and I think we're okay, but his contract still been extended yet, has it? So he could very well be leaving at the end of the summer. I think if he does, we definitely need to find someone who we could trust as well as we. The thing is with Fred, sometimes it's the thing, you just don't know which version you're going to get, and that is the issue. If you play like we know we can play against them, like Spurs, for example, like Spurs at home, what a game Fred had there.
Yeah.
But then it's every now and then, I think it's like one of the names he played, it was just like awful, and it's just like we can't be doing that. And so Ten Hag's definitely got a decision to make in the summer.
Yeah. Well, what grade would you give him?
C+ for this game. I think it's fair.
Yeah, okay, we'll go with C+. He's very much like the Forrest Gump analogy, Fred, isn't he? He's you never know what you're going to get with him. He's either really, really good or...
I think, there's a famous clip of me, isn't there, saying it's like living with a bipolar sort of patient at home. Like, you could come home to a really nice, well-cooked dinner, or you might have burnt the kitchen down. You don't know which one is going to happen. Like, it's a risk every single time. So it's...
Absolutely. But today, you had a nice meal when you got home, so we'll give him a C+. Yeah. Bruno Fernandes, I don't know. It's a weird one with Bruno. I feel like I love the work rate that he puts in for the team, and he helps us a lot significantly in that. But a lot of the times when he vacates that number 10 spot, I feel like that people like Weghorst and other people feel the effect of that. He needs to stay in the 10, in and around the 10 more for me, and be effective in them areas. When I see him at right back and, losing the ball there and stuff, I'm kind of just like, it's not what I want to see from a number 10, but I get why he does it at times. And he's important in games like this where you're playing an energetic lead side. But again, nothing major about his performance and nothing, insignificant about his performance. I just thought I'd give him a C.
Probably fair again. It's a common theme for this game, and especially for that 60 odd minutes to we were just drawing, struggling. The whole team, you saw a few players dropping into but you saw Sabitz to do it a couple of times, for example, when Dan would push up. It's just we're trying to solve the problem of how do we get past this Leeds press, and I think we were just trying it, and it just wasn't working in the first half until we changed around. And Bruno is not one of the people, as much as we all love him. You don't want him deep, because he has that sort of erratism in his nature, where he wants to sort of play that 1 in 100, 1 in 50 ball, which he can do, but not consistently. And he's not the most press resistant player, unfortunately, which is why we need a certain Dutch midfielder.
Absolutely. Because what you get with that is you replicate what Lissandro does at the back. when you get like 2-3 players, he'll just slice through him, like just with ease, no pressure on him whatsoever. Boom. And if you put that into midfield as well, you've got clean transitions then from each side of the thing. Sam, Bruno Fernandes?
Yeah, he's not at his best. Again, another player who suffers with inconsistencies. Like when he's on his form, like Bruno is one of our best players. He's phenomenal. Everything seems to come off. He's passing, he's crisp, he's scoring goals, etc. But then when he has games like this, where he's effectively pressed out the game, and he's not able to affect the game as much as he normally would, he looks like a passenger. And I see why a lot of people get upset with him, because he doesn't play like a De Bruyne. He doesn't play that kind of football. He's very sort of more gritty, more sort of less flamboyant.
Dogged, isn't it?
Yeah, which a lot of people mistake for being worse or being on a lesser level, which is not. I think he just needs to up his consistency. I think when he's got, again, it comes back to Casemiro, but when he's got Casemiro around him, he looks so much better. He looks so much better because you don't have to worry about all of this shit behind him. He can just focus on everything in front of him. And I think if we invest in squad depth and get some quality midfielders, because I think we need a couple. I don't think we just need one. I think we need a couple in the summer. I think you'll see the much better Bruno version than we're currently seeing. He just needs to iron out his consistency. So for me, I go with a C-. I don't think he was his best.
Yeah, it's like a single mum on a night out, isn't it? If they know in their headspace they've got someone decent who's looking after the kids, they're gonna have a good night. They're gonna enjoy themselves. But if they're a bit worried about
this analogy was going,
if they're a little bit worried about, it might be a bit of a dickhead who's looking after the kids, then you're not gonna enjoy yourself. Bruno with Casemiro in the team is a lot better, like you say. That's where I was going with the analogy. Take it or leave it. Moving on to the forward line, Jadon Sancho on the right side. I'm sick of saying C now, but no one's got a B.
No.
You wasn't particularly impressed with his performance, Sam.
No.
So what would you give him? And then we'll throw our opinions at it.
I think I really want to say D, but I think maybe I'm being overly harsh if I say D.
Okay.
So let's give him a C- because I think I might be a bit harsh because, again, he's just come back, hasn't started a game yet. First start, you're against Leeds, who we know what they're like. They marked about the game. They were physical with him. Dave pointed out before, it's not his sort of game. He's not getting the link-up play. He's not getting people around him to help make the runs, etc. So it's probably not the game that you want to throw him in for anyway. But I think we were lacking in options. You know what I mean? Like, we had to play somebody. Anthony's out. Rashford looked terrible over there when he played there. So I think we had to do something. So this is what happened. So I think he'll have better games to come. But I just thought he wasn't very effective today for me. So I'll give a C-, but in my head I'm thinking D. But yeah.
I don't know if you'd agree with this, Dave, but I think one thing that is shown is how important Anthony is to the system, how Ten Hag likes to play. I think he's been missing with the amount of criticism that he's had. He is a big player for us in the way that we play, innit?
Yeah, what Anthony's really good at is taking the ball and keeping hold of it, and just really not losing it. Like it becomes so clear that when he's not on the pitch, we struggle to control and like sustain attacks.
Yeah,
and Anthony will get the ball played to him wide, and then people will moan that he doesn't take someone on, and then maybe lose the ball. Yeah. It's almost people like he would rather try and take someone on and lose it than not take someone on and keep it and pass it to someone else and recycle it. It's which is not something that United fans have had over the years. We've not really had that sort of player. So you can kind of see where it comes from, because we all want those players, just going to take people on and like put a cross in, United playing with wingers. But Anthony's like the complete opposite of that. Similar to Sancho, he's the sort of player you give him the ball, runners around him. He's going to play those like slick little reverse passes or cut inside and get a shot off. But also he's going to keep the ball, sustain attacks, draw players towards him, and let us progress 10, 15, 20 yards up the pitch as a team. And no one else in our team can really do that. So we suffer when he's not there.
He's a bit of a magnet, isn't he? That's the thing. When Anthony's out there, he drags other people towards him, which leaves vacates space for others. Sancho, who played in his position today, what would you give him rating?
I think C- is probably fair. I don't think he was necessarily bad, but it's just it really wasn't the game for him, and he sort of struggled. Yeah, individually, I don't think you did something like, oh, you're like, oh, what you doing, Sancho? Why are you doing that? It's just like it almost felt like he just couldn't do anything today.
I agree. C- for him then. Then the last two, we'll go without Vegas next. Again, was more effective as he dropped as a 10. I thought he looked better in there. First half, I mean, wasn't amazing. Had some nice touches, some flicks, a good link-up play, but I want to see goals from him, man. I really want to see goals from him. I didn't think it was a sparkly performance from him. You get what you get. Does what he says on the tin. I just give him a standard C. Whether one of you guys would take it to a C plus or C minus is completely up to you, but I just give him a standard C. Sam?
Yeah, I'll go with a C minus. Again, you want to see goals from your striker. He does what he does well, like the link-up play, bringing people in, pulling defenders, etc. But it's a very heavy burden we're placing on Marcus Rashford at the minute. He's the only one scoring goals right now. Obviously Garnacho came on, got his goal, which is great, but he's not starting as regular as Weghorst is, as Sancho will be, hopefully, Anthony, Rashford. So you need him to start stepping up to the plate sooner or later. But again, I like what he does offer, but he needs to start contributing goals soon. But again, it's a stopgap. I said before, it's not the forever striker, so it is what it is at this point.
And got an assist as well, didn't he, for Garnacho, which I completely just literally remembered now. C, what do you think?
Which is why I say I'd bump him up to a C just for the assist. I think he struggled in a similar way to Sancho did, but then he had that moment where he slips in Garnacho. Garnacho's that has to count for something, right?
Yeah,
cool. Yeah. And then last, Mr. Marcus Rashford, the boy from Withenshaw. Well, he's from Withington, actually, but he also lived in Withenshaw as well. What do we give him? Because, again, how many times have we said, Sam, on these reviews that he's not really heavily involved in the game, but he always gets a goal. Guaranteed to score now at the minute. He's just always in the right places at the right times, which is a sign of a world-class player, isn't it?
Clutch player. That's what you want. You want a guy to step up. When you need a goal, he's always there. He's the guy who steps up. It's like what Ronaldo was doing for us. You know, the shitty season that we had. Ronaldo was the only one who was coming in the clutch and getting us a goal. Consistently did it in the Champions League about 4 times, did he? He was just consistently doing it for us. That's what Rashford's doing this season. When other players around him are dropping form or not quite there or not scoring, not sort of featuring, Rashford's coming in and scoring goals. And I think you have to give him, again, was not involved in a lot of the game, but scored a goal. So maybe you do a C plus, maybe a B minus if you just because he scored a goal. And that's how important he is to this team and the way Ten Hag plays. Again, if we get touch wood, if we get an injury to Rashford, where's our goals coming from? It's tricky. Yeah. It's very tricky.
Yeah, I'd agree with that assessment. What about yourself, Dave?
Yeah, hard to disagree with anything that Sam's just said. He does have this thing at the moment where he's not overly involved and peppering people's goals. And you're thinking, oh, he's getting a goal from being in the right position as opposed to taking a million shots, which I think is almost you'd almost prefer that. And he is coming in clutch ridiculously at the minute from just being in the right position. Yeah, similar to other people, he's not done anything particularly badly today. He's trying stuff, not always coming off, but then when he popped up when it mattered for the goal. So I think C plus minimum. You could argue putting him up to a B because I think he was overall quite good today.
Yeah, one of the most clutch players in Europe at the minute. His form is terrifying.
I think there was a stat I saw, and I can't remember exactly where I saw it, but it was going off the amount of goals that players had scored and what percentage of those goals had counted for points. And I think Rashford was actually right at the top. His goals are generally clutch for United just across his entire career.
Doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all.
He's always a big game player as well, Rashford. He always turns up for him. So, yeah, big up him because where we'd be without him, I don't know. He's scored some proper important goals for us. And it'll probably continue. It'll probably continue for the final. It'll probably continue for the Barcelona games. He is on fire and long may it continue.
I think
with that said...
He's looking at those Barcelona games and licking his lips, isn't he, Rashford?
Yeah.
He's going to be so up for that shit. He's going to be absolutely loving it.
You just got to set up, be organised, compact at the new Camp Nou, however it is say it. And then just look for Rashford. Yeah, Spotify Camp Nou. Apologies.
They're selling seats as well, aren't they? At this point, aren't they selling seats?
Yeah, I've heard that.
So.
Yeah, they're doing weddings, fucking anything to generate
five-a-side.
money.
You go play five-a-side there, I believe. I think you play like a couple €100. You go play five-a-side.
Yeah, mental. So yeah, he'll be looking again to stay in this form, and we're going to need it for some big games coming up. Before we conclude the ratings, who's your man of the match, lads?
Tough, innit?
Tough, innit?
Nobody had
probably Rashford, because I just feel like he came up with that clutch moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get it.
And he put us in the position to be able to go on and get the second, because I think Leeds would have been still sat back a bit more. We probably would have scored anyway, but Rashford got us that goal when it mattered, when we were on top.
Can I give it Lissandro? Can I give it Lissandro?
Yeah. Well,
I
mean, he was effective when he came on.
I thought he changed the game. Shout out to the Shoestring Budget Podcast. Big up the lads enjoying the stream. Come on, United. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So, are you giving it Rashford as well, Sam? Or are you actually giving it to?
I'm happy to give it Rashford. I'd love to give it to Sandro, but I think I can't give it to a guy who only had like 20 minutes on the pitch. So.
Yeah, that's fair enough. What did we give Rashford overall, by the way? Was it C+ or did we push it up to a B?
Well, you decided.
I think we said either. Yeah, it could have been either of those.
You decide.
Oh, we'll give him a B in it. He's been fucking insane for us. He's been absolutely incredible. So I'll be rather polite and we'll say Marcus Rashford, man of the match, the only one to get above a C grade. So thank you very much, Marcus. You absolute fucking legend. 2-0 at Leeds at Elland Road. Who would have thought it? Lovely result for us. 3 points in the bag. As I touched on before, we're second currently. Well, City are back up second because they're beating Villa at the minute, but 46 points, 5 points behind Arsenal, 1 point over City, or we'll be back behind them depending on the result of this game, and then 5 points above Newcastle, which is the most important thing, and above Leeds. So we capitalise when points are dropped. Do we have any final thoughts, lads, before we conclude the show?
Important that we got that win today. Like you said, points dropped all around us, rivalries and stuff like that. It's important we got this win today, and it wasn't looking that likely. Up until about 60-70 minutes, I thought this is going to slip away from us. Rashford in the clutch and important, and now we march on to Barcelona. Let's go.
Is that the next game up? Yeah,
it is on
Thursday. Thursday. Shit. Can't wait for that. Cannot wait. And then Leicester on the weekend and Barca after that.
Barca again. And then the cup final.
Oh, it's heating up. It's heating up. And there's only one place to be. Real Red Talk. Real Red Talk. Go on, Dave.
I was going to say, I was just looking at Newcastle's form then. I think they've, the last 5 games, they got 1 win, 4 draws. But I think over the last 6, it's 1 win and 5 draws. Yeah. So they're not losing, but they are struggling. United, I know we're going to do a preview for this proper, but United should be winning that game, that cup final. It'll be tough though. I imagine it might be similar to the Leeds one, where they're just going to come and try and fight us, and we have to be better.
Yeah, because they're going to be the fitter team, but I think we'll have more quality in our side if all our players start for Ran.
Casemiro is going to be back, which is going to be massive
as well. Can't wait for it. Cannot wait for it. We'll of course, the schedule will be out tomorrow morning for the content next week. Like we said, busy. Lots of games going on at the minute. We'll have the preview for the Barca game, as always, watch along. Adam's going to jump on the watch along with me for that, so that should be exciting. And stay tuned to Real Reds Talk. Make sure you follow us on socials, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and more importantly, smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for coming on, lads. And unless you've got anything else to say, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
See you later.